Hello and welcome to Las Vegas All Sports Talk Show. Joe Cortez here with T.C. Martin. T.C. Martin, one of my favorite buddies and great, we co-host the show together. I don't know if you got senior already over me or I got over you. I don't know. I think you're older than me.
I don't know about that.
I feel like a teenager today after last night's event, watching all these inductees last night, all these Boxing Hall of Fame here in Las Vegas. It was a great event. TC, now you interviewed several of these fighters throughout the years, and at the Nevada Hall of Fame last night, we had most of the great fighters in town. A lot of these fighters they fought here. Some of them even live here, like Leon Spink lives here. And Vinny Paz says he wishes he could live here, but he said this is Sin City for him. Right. And he may not be doing the right things if he was to be a resident. Right. You had a good conversation, good interview with him the other day. How did that interview go?
It was great. You know, every time I talk to Vinny Paz, it just brings up so many great memories, and people remember watching him fight because, you know, the Pazmanian devil, he always left it in the ring at all times. And, you know, the thing with Vinny Paz, when you talk to him, I mean, it's unfiltered. I mean, you know, you're going to probably get some F-bombs and some other stuff like that as well, too. But he's true and he's pure, and that's what I like about him. Yes. And I remember talking with him right after the movie premiere, Bleed for This, yes. Which came out in 2017, I believe it was. Yeah. And you know, and I asked Vinny, I said, Vinny, did Hollywood get that story right? Because, you know, as you know, because you've done so many movies that we've talked about before yourself, but you know, when you're doing a biography, a story about one's life, does Hollywood get it right, or they manipulate it a little bit? And Vinny said they really got it right. He was real happy with the actor that played him. Vinny was a consultant on that movie. So for me, I always thought that was an interesting part of an interview to do with Vinny Paz. Right. Because you always want to know. It's like people are saying, okay, grew up in Rhode Island and this and that. How did this portray? And it came across really good. So if you haven't seen that movie, of course you can still go back and see it, Bleed for This. But it's really good. Bleed
for This is an outstanding movie. It's very inspiring to watch that movie because you see with Vinny Paz, when he was in an automobile accident, he had a halo around his head. He was in bed, they say he could never walk again, definitely would never fight again. And he proved everybody wrong because he says, you know, I can't stay like this. He kept sneaking down to the basement with the halo around his neck, and he'd be up there doing push-ups and doing the bench with the weights and the neck. He would do the neck exercise, you know, with the weights and all that. And so he got back to walking. He got back into shadow boxing. And his mom is a little tiny Italian lady. She would be crying, said, no, you can't be doing this. He said, what, are you crazy? And he said, no, Mom, I got to do this, you know. And he comes back and wins the...
he fights and he wins?
He wins another championship, and I remember refereeing him after that fight, after that accident. I refereed him against Roberto Duran, where he won. Yeah. You know, so it was amazing to be with Vinny Paz, listening to his great stories. He definitely is an inspiration to so many of us. Because, like he said, you got to have faith in yourself and believe in yourself that you can do it. Don't ever think that the world is coming to an end. It is something we have to do. And that's what I tell you viewers out there. If you really believe in yourself and believe that you can make things happen, look at Vinny Paz. Watch that movie, Bleed for This, and it really inspires your life.
You know, we were talking about the movie and the relationship that really portrayed him and his dad, how close they were. And he goes, I was a lot closer with my mom. And in the movie, they really had that relationship with Vinny and the dad. Mom was involved, like you mentioned, too. But he says, really, the mom was his rock, really. And so it was great. But, yeah, like you say, you know, Vinny was there last night. Been in town the last couple of days, so we've had some good conversations. And he's still living in Rhode Island. Like you said, he sometimes gets a little bit scared about Vegas. But great guy. He looks good, too.
He looks real good, real good. Yeah. Now, he's, you know, he fought Roberto Duran twice. They had a bad blood between each other, but guess what? Now he's training Roberto Duran Jr. Right. He's training the son. Right. You know, he was here last night, the son, and I was so happy to see him. Roberto couldn't make it. He had other commitments, the father. But it's amazing how things go. Also remind me of Gotti and Mickey Ward. Oh, yeah. You know, they had those fights. Those wars. That's what they were. If you guys want to watch a really great fight, go on the YouTube channel and watch Arturo Gotti versus Mickey Ward. They fought 3 times. 3 of the best fights you want to see in the history of boxing. I think to me they're like in the century. And then nothing been like that fight.
Let me ask you a question, if you don't mind, about that. What do you think was better, one of those Ward fights that you talked about, or Castillo-Corrales?
Man, I tell you, man, I put them both up there neck and neck with each other. I call it like a draw as far as actually is concerned. But see, the Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward fight, it was like every round. There was highlights in every round. And the Castillo-Corrales fight, it was only in that 10th round. I mean, it was back and forth, but not. I mean, that 10th round was amazing. No, referee Tony Weeks stopped it just right. Not a punch too soon, not a punch too late. It was a dramatic ending.
Would you say best round possibly in the history of boxing?
The history of boxing, wow, there's been so many.
I know, but think about that 10th round. I mean, it's up there. Top 5 somewhere.
Yeah, it's up there. And also the fight that I refereed, Ready for Evander Holyfield, the first one. Right. The 10th round was also one of the greatest rounds in boxing.
10th round, that's the thing, isn't it?
That's right. But talking about the Pazienza been training Roberto Duran Jr., well, Gotti was trained by Mickey Ward. And after they fought those 3 wars,
it's true.
Gotti was trained by Ward. I mean, that's unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, and remember, we saw another movie, Hollywood did that as well, too, about that rivalry and about the story about Mickey Ward.
Talking about rivalries, and you have the Mexico versus Puerto Rico. I mean, those rivalries.
Well, we know you're partial on that one.
No, I don't care. You know, as a referee, sometimes
you're right. You're fair, but you're firm. What am I saying? You can't.
I got to be like a judge.
Impartial.
I got to be like a judge in the courtroom, man.
That's right.
I can't take sides, you know, and that's the way it is. I remember referee some Puerto Rican fighters throughout the past, and I think Camacho, a Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican too, but you know, I ended up taking a point from him, you know, when he fought Sugar Ray Leonard.
Right.
You know. And if everybody said, hey, come on, Joe, he's Puerto Rican like you. I said, I don't care. I'm not there for that. I'm there to call it the way it is, man, you know?
That's true.
And people think that, you know, because people, I don't know, some people think differently. When you're an official, you have to be, like, impartial. You can't take sides at all, ever.
And it's like, it's the same way, and I get that all the time in the media, too. People say, oh, you have a favorite team, that sort of thing. No, you have to be impartial. You have to. You can't be skewed one way or the other. You can't come and say, hey, I'm a fan of this and that.
Even though some of these commentators sometimes, when they have a particular fighter on the show, some of the bench at network, you can see where they're siding with a fighter who's coming up. You know, they're siding more. You can see they're trying to build him up more than the opponent. Right. And I kind of don't like that, to hear that.
True.
I like to call it the way it really is. You know, the guy hit him with a good shot. Well, sometimes some of the commentators, they do a great job, but there's nothing better than see a guy like George Foreman, Roy Jones Jr., Bernard Hopkins, Oscar De La Hoya, guys who can talk to Gabe, they talk it because they've been in the ring. They know what it feels when you get buzzed. They know what it feels when you get hit in the rib and you lose your win. You know, like Keith Thurman the other day when he fought Manny Pacquiao. Right. Man, Manny Pacquiao, I mean, he really impressed me in that fight that night. He came back, and I know you fans want to hear about that over and over again, because Manny Pacquiao definitely did what I thought nobody else could do to Keith Thurman. I thought Keith Thurman was like unbeatable. Even though I gave Pacquiao, I had the edge. I thought Pacquiao was going to be a Keith Thurman because of the experience. But then I was a little concerned about, does he have enough in the gas tank to go the distance? And he did, but he cracked Keith Thurman's ribs in the 10th round with that body shot. And Keith Thurman took that shot. He removed his mouthpiece to get more wind. He couldn't breathe, you know? Right. And he put it back in. Right. You got to give him credit, because I know Keith Thurman was looking to maybe looking for a sore spot in that ring to take an 8 count, and he didn't. He fought it out. And I mean, he gave a good fight, good account for himself. Now, do you think that Sean Porter, Earl Smith Jr., fighting in September, the winner of that fight, should they take a crack at Manny Pacquiao? You think Manny Pacquiao, the Porter, should be the winner of that fight?
I think it's pretty much all set. I think that's exactly what's going to happen, because when you had all 4 of those guys having belts, it was basically going to be 2 semifinal matches. Kind of like a Final Four that we have in basketball, and I think that is already pretty much been predetermined. And I know that when I've talked to Sean Porter, he's been wanting to fight Manny Pacquiao for quite some time, and I think we're set up for that. I think there's no doubt we're set up for it. And like you said, we talked about the Thurman-Pacquiao battle, and you called it perfectly. We both thought that Manny's speed and power was going to be too much for Keith, and it was. But how weird or strange was that to see a champion, an undefeated champion like Keith Thurman, pull out his own mouthpiece? Because let's be honest, Joe, I think that Thurman took Manny a little bit light. You know, I think that he wasn't expecting that for Manny. And we've seen Keith Thurman kind of like Floyd Mayweather Jr., pick and choose his opponents, pick very, very carefully. And we've seen him postpone fights, and he's had some injuries and that sort of thing. So I think right now we're right where we want to be. We want to see Sean Porter take on Earl Spence Jr. in Los Angeles, Staples Center at the end of September, and Manny Pacquiao is just chilling right now in the Philippines, waiting until next spring, next summer to take on the winner.
You think Manny Pacquiao will be at ringside for that fight?
I don't think so. I don't. Manny really doesn't come back to watch many fights.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But since it is in L.A. and Manny has a home in L.A., that could be a possibility. Yeah. So possibly, again, and they're under the same umbrella with Premier Boxing Champion, so maybe I'll take that back. Possibly.
Okay, what else is going on in the sports these days? I know you got your Aces sure ready to call a game today.
That's right.
What's going on?
Oh, the Aces, we got a big game today against the Connecticut Sun. Basically got the top two teams in the WNBA. The WNBA season is winding down. We got playoffs coming up. So, yeah, over at the Mandalay Bay at 3 o'clock today, national TV game on ESPN2. So it's going to be exciting. So got to save my voice a little bit so I can get the radio call on that. But no, looking forward to that. And if people have not followed the WNBA, you got to check it out because these women are amazing. They're the best female basketball players in the entire world. And the Las Vegas Aces, they've got themselves a squad in the Connecticut Sun. They've got the best record. So looking forward to it. 3 o'clock today.
Now, do you think that the females are not being credited the way they should be for their efforts in the sport? I mean, compared to the salaries of the male players, what can you tell us about your feelings on that?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's across the board. I mean, you probably remember, Joe. I mean, I managed one of the very first female boxers, back in the day, and I had to struggle with that back in the 90s, get promoters to give women boxers an opportunity. And when I was negotiating for those fights, finally, and I give Bob Arum a lot of credit because, he gave my fighter the opportunity, and then Christy Martin came, and then there were others. But it was hard to negotiate, the fight persons because, well, it's women and this and that. And they don't deserve as much. They're only fighting 2-minute rounds instead of 3-minute rounds, which isn't right. So it's getting a little bit better. But with the WNBA, the salaries are very, very low. The rookie salary, this might blow you away, the rookie salary, if you're a #1 overall pick or you're a number 10 overall pick, you're only making $41,000 for that season.
$41,000.
That's all you're making.
Man, that's tip money for Magic Johnson.
Exactly,
and
exactly.
And Michael Jordan, come on.
You know what the average WNBA salary is?
What's that?
About $75,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, there are some women out there that are having to get endorsements and that sort of thing, but for the most part, and that's what they're fighting for right now with a collective bargaining agreement they don't want equal pay with the NBA. They understand where their place is. But still, I mean, you've got to treat them a little bit better. And then with the women's soccer, we're seeing that, discussion going back and forth where the women's USA team won the World Cup. And they've been very outspoken saying, hey, let's give our league some more money. And it's coming to the forefront. It's getting better than it used to be, but still, we're not close.
How about in tennis? You got the Serena Williams.
Same thing. Yeah.
Tennis, are they also underpaid?
They're better now than it was in Billie Jean King's days and Chris Everett, but
right.
They really struggled. You go back to the 60s and even the early 70s. The women really weren't making really good money. I'd probably say maybe until like the mid 80s or so, but there's still a discrepancy. Yeah.
One thing you don't know how to see if any women jockeys.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. Are they afraid of horses?
Well, Julie Krohn was a great one, remember? She raced out of New York.
Yeah, there are a couple of them, but hardly anybody even talks about it.
Yeah, that's true, too. That's true. You're too big for a jockey, weren't you?
Yeah, I was too big.
You were a featherweight back in the day.
When I was a flyweight, maybe 112 pounds, I could have been a jockey. Hit that horse.
I can see over there. Would you be Aqueduct or Belmont? What would be your track?
I think I'll take Belmont.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, it sounded more popular,
That's true.
But I was from Spanish Harlem, New York, man. We didn't ride no horses, man. We used to get up back of the bus, hang up behind the back of the bus, and we used to roller skate and make our little cart out of milk crates.
That's
man,
right.
We did so much. I mean, back in the day, we had no computer, we had no cell phone, we had nothing. We had to create our own games. Jack and the Pony, you know, and stickballs in the Bronx. My man out here.
That's right.
I was a good stickball player, I can tell you that, man. I used to catch those balls, those one-hand catches, jumping over the cars, catching the ball. I mean, they were like highlights in baseball today, the catches we used to be playing stickball down in 99th Street between Park and Madison.
I said, shout out to my man, my boy, Rock King Fling, the Bronx, New York, him and Joe Cortez, stickball champs back in the day.
Back in the days, my man, I tell you, we had a show, remember I used to listen to my acapella doo-wop shows, Jack Cole, and Jack Cole was back on the scene with the record machine saying, ooh, Papa, do, and how do you do? Man, the Jack Cole was a great show back in the days, man.
Also as good as TC and the Soul Patrol's Fabulous Funk Show.
There you go. Now, TC, tell me.
That was West Coast, though.
Tell me, TC, what's in the lineup for you the next couple of months with your sports?
Well, like I said, we got the WNBA playoffs, and we got football right around the corner. You know, we've got exhibition season just got underway with that, and the regular season is going to start right after Labor Day. So it's football mania, especially here in Las Vegas, as you know. If you love football, it doesn't matter what team you're here in Las Vegas, everybody's got a set location, a little bar, whatever, and of course the sports books, as you know, when you come and see my show in the sports books, you know how that is.
Oh my God.
It is craziness on Saturday for college football and Sunday for the NFL. So yeah, it's really football heavy, and you know, basketball's right around the corner too.
Man,
the NBA is going to start again in October.
You know, they're saying that Nevada is the boxing capital of the world. They said Nevada is the entertainment capital of the world. I said Nevada is the sports capital of the world. Because we got all sports coming to Las Vegas now. I mean, with the Raiders, you see our stadium going up.
Yes.
Oh my! Yes. Every time I drive by, I take a picture of it so I can have before and after when it's completed. Yeah. I can't wait for next year when the Raiders come into town.
So let me ask you something. So, are you going to be a Raiders fan once they move here, or who is your team right now?
I'm gonna right
you
now.
Have a team?
I'm in my mind. I'm getting myself set up to think and focus in on the Raiders. I mean, you got to be. I mean, come on, you live here, they're going to be the Raiders. How can you not be a Raiders fan?
Well, I'll tell you why, because did you have a team before that? Were you,
no, not really.
Okay. But for people say we're diehard Cowboy fans or Packer fans or Bears or Patriots fans, you know, I firmly believe, you know, they're going to stick with their team. So just because a team relocates doesn't necessarily mean. Now, we've got Raider fans here, but it's not like the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights, that was an organic build from ground zero. They didn't, you know, relocate from another city.
Right.
You know, that was a true expansion team. So I think that's a little bit different. So I think, you know, when you look at the Raider games, you know, they're going to pack 65,000 in this $1.9 billion stadium.
Right.
But I think you're going to have visiting fans teams, and it's going to take a while for people to get acclimated. Because let's be honest, Raiders, you either love them or you hate them. Kind of like the Cowboys.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of tourism coming to town. They're probably going to look at the schedule of the Raiders game. Right. That's probably the week that they want to come in here. Right. But I remember when back in the days when New York Giants and they had the Brooklyn Dodgers, when they left New York, we felt like they were traitors and leaving us. You know, they went to the West Coast, the Dodgers and
the Giants too.
The Giants,
San Francisco, you know, baseball.
It was the New York Giants. Right. They were at the Polo Grounds, and the Dodgers were at the Ebbets Field in Brooklyn. You know, and they left us, and we felt brokenhearted. But you know, now I moved out. I'm here in Vegas, and I still like my Yankees, and I still like my Mets on the National League. So you know, I just have fun. But you know, when the Raiders come into town, I can see me putting out that Raiders cap. And my jersey, you know, it's just like the hockey, the Golden Knights.
Yeah.
You know, who the hell thought I was going to become a hockey fan? A little guy from Spanish Harbour, New York. I hated hockey, but when they came here, I fell in love with them. I went to that T-Mobile Arena. You were in there. The electricity there is like nothing. I mean, like no other sport.
Right.
I mean, I thought the electricity there for boxing was big, but when I went to the Golden Knights game, I said, oh my God, this is amazing.
It's another level, it really is. And I compare it to basically going to a rock concert or a show. And they do a fantastic job, the MGM and the Golden Knights together, putting on a great show. I mean, the introductions and everything, it's totally different. And you know, we talk about Madison Square Garden, which you know very, very well, the world's most famous arena, where you know, hockey with the Rangers, basketball with the Knicks, and of course, all the great prize fights, you know, there. You know, to me, that is, you know, comparable, the world's most famous arena. But T-Mobile, Joe, man, it's there.
It's jumping.
I mean, it's very early. We can't compare the two, but it's an electric atmosphere in that building.
It is. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, the way they build it. I mean, the interior of that T-Mobile Arena is unbelievable. When you go up to the top in the nosebleed section, you look down, it looks like a big roller coaster going straight down. I said, well, I hope nobody trips having a beer up there and go down because they're so steep.
Right.
But it's so beautiful. I mean, it's just one of the most beautiful arenas I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, Las Vegas does it right. I mean, the MGM is nice. The Mandalay Bay, they renovated that place now. They spent over $10 million. It's a little smaller venue compared to MGM and, of course, T-Mobile Arena. But, yeah, we need the next big fight to come back to T-Mobile or MGM here real soon.
I mean, they were doing some fights back when I was refereeing here in Vegas at the Thomas and Mack.
Oh, yes.
A lot of big fights there. I was there the other day. They had some amateur shows there the other day. Roy Jones Jr. put on the show there. Right. It was pretty nice. I mean, good memory going into that Thomas and Mack.
Oh, we used to see Della Hoya used to fight there. Julio Cesar Chavez. I mean, it goes way back.
I referee all of them there.
I know.
It was a great experience. Now, okay, so talking about your football, what's the basketball season looking like?
Basketball season is looking good too. Now, this is going to be the most interesting NBA season coming up because you don't have the Golden State Warriors being as dominant. So now Kevin Durant, obviously he's injured, but you know he's going to be a Brooklyn Net, you know, coming up year after next. And so free agency really was a hot button topic all during the summer here, and a lot of it happened here in Las Vegas because we had the NBA Summer League. So that was the time frame where people were really talking a lot about that. A lot of deals were made with free agents here in Las Vegas. So I think that, you know, you've got the Clippers now, you got the Lakers with LeBron James. They're relevant. Then, you know, you still got, you know, teams like Oklahoma City and San Antonio. But when you look at the Western Conference compared to the Eastern Conference now, it's like, man, it's going to be tough, man. So I think, you know, without the Warriors, I think the Warriors are still going to be good. They still got Steph Curry. You know, they got some pieces. Klay Thompson will miss a good portion of the season, but don't count out the Warriors and Steve Kerr and company. It's going to be a great NBA season. I think more and more people are looking forward to this coming NBA season, maybe than the last 4 or 5 years, because it was either the Cleveland Cavaliers when LeBron James was there, right, or it was the Golden State Warriors, you know, when they had, you know Curry and Durant and Thompson and those guys, and then they added other pieces like, you know, DeMarcus Cousins. So I think the NBA season is going to be very, very interesting, fantastic, and I think it's going to be unpredictable.
Now, what's Curry's career right now? Where's he going right now with his? How many more years do you think he has left?
Oh, I think that he could play in this league probably another 7 to 8 years.
That long?
Yeah, because he's a guard, and you know, he does take a little bit of punishment because he's on the slender side, but he's not in there banging with the big bodies like the big guys. You know, when you're 6'10" or you're 7 feet, you know, a lot of wear and tear on your knees. You know, so I think you know Curry's a perimeter guy. And I think he's got a good 6, 7 years as long as he wants to keep playing.
Every time I think of, I was thinking about him with the mouthpiece always hanging out of his mouth.
That's right, exactly.
That's his trademark, I think.
Yeah. If you're a referee, right, you gotta say, hey, come on,
put that mouthpiece in the mouth.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
But it's not mandatory for them to wear the mouthpiece in basketball.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Because some of them don't want to keep the pearly white nice.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's his little. It's kind of his little crutch too. You know, he takes it out and he hangs it from his mouth while he's shooting free throws, that sort of things. But you know, guys get very comfortable. Guys are very superstitious as well too. Now you want to protect your grill. I get that. You know, but sometimes just do it because you know they've been doing it for a while and it's superstitious for them.
You know, some of the time when I was refereeing some of these fighters, I would. Okay, guys, I go in the corner before the pre-fight. Right. Before I check the gloves, mouthpiece, make sure the mouthpiece. They were like that, and they have all kinds of crap written on their teeth,
right,
on their mouthpiece. You know, it says champ, or they got FU on there. I said, what?
Yeah.
You know, all this kind of stuff on the mouthpiece.
Or even a sponsorship. Yeah. Remember when they were doing the sponsorship, like on their on their backs or on the trunks? But I even saw it on the mouthpiece.
Well, I saw a guy had it at the bottom of his soles of his shoes.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, because he got knocked out. You see the bottom of his shoe says Colgate or whatever it was on the bottom of the shoe, you know.
I should just say night-night. You know, that's what I should say.
Night-night, yeah,
on
right.
the bottom of the shoe, yeah.
Oh, man, that's a good place to put a sponsorship name on there.
That's funny.
But I have to tell you that sports is really a great, a great game. All kinds of sports is good. And I tell you, a lot of parents out there, get your kids involved with sports. You got to do something. Basketball, football, hockey, boxing, tennis, any kind of sport to do something because, I mean, a lot of the kids out there all they do exercise with their thumbs, you know, and that's not enough, you know. They're not actually, that's why there's so much obesity out there today with these kids. They're not out there like when I was growing up, man. every day I come out from school, I go home, make sure I did my homework, but then I was downstairs playing stickball, playing jack on a pony, and playing a stoop ball. We get the ball they hit on the edge of the stoop. You know, we got first base, second and third base playing. I mean, we create our own games out there. Today, these kids, man, they're so damn spoiled. And, you know, I would knock them in there. They get your ass out of that bed and go out there and do something positive for yourself instead of just staying there, laying around playing on the computer 24/7. Come on, that's not exercise.
And then Joe would hang out at Studio 54 afterwards. There you go. That's my man.
Studio 54, that was an amazing place in New York, man. That was a place. You had to go there, you be lined up out there, you didn't know if you could get in or not. They used to look at you. The host out there would look at you and say, okay, you can come in.
Well, you got in all the time. They knew you.
Well, you know, I was a little different. But I mean,
you just took off the bow tie and put on a little different tie.
Well, you go to Studio 54, but you get out, you stand out there, you know, and they looked at you. You can come in, you come in. No, you're not dressed right. Come on. It was how you dress or how you act that they'll let you in, you know. But it's amazing. Studio 54, they did away with that, all right? No more.
No more, man. No more. But it's still live. You know, they've got their channel on radio, and they play the stuff, and they bring back some of the old the people that used to run it. Guesses. It's kind of cool to relive some of that stuff. You can catch.
I think Floyd Mayweather should open up a club called 50.
Yeah.
You know, 50 and old, right? Because I mean, he has a gentleman's club here in Vegas, right here, right?
He does.
Have you been there yet?
I have not. It's not my game anymore.
It's not your game anymore?
No,
okay. No. The gentleman's club, I'll tell you, man. You go in there. I don't know, because I never been. I went in one time when I was a deputy constable in Vegas. I went to serve some papers, but it was in the daytime. I can tell you one thing though. It's not my calling.
Right.
I want the real deal. I want the real thing. I could go there and spend $500 on a bottle of booze to look at a girl dance in front of me and do a little lap dance. Pay $500 for that? You gotta be kidding, man.
That's not you, right?
No way in the world, man. That's not my style, man. I got a little more class.
Wrap up the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame last night. Again, you were there. What was your overall take on it?
Man, I tell you, it was very delightful to see some of the great champions, but also it was a little sad to see some of the fighters and some of the trainers and ex-fighters that they really are going through some difficult times. You know, they can't even speak, some of them. And but it was a great event. You know, seeing Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins was the last inductee of the show last night. It was like the main event. He really spoke very well on behalf of his colleagues, boxing. He's the Golden Boy, but he spoke very, very well about the good things he wanted to do for boxing, for the fighters, being that he was one himself, so he knows. We got to see Terry Norris, and it was just a lot of this is a program for last night's event, the 7th annual event, and we had Juan Manuel Marquez, we got Vinny Paz, Bernard Hopkins, Chikatito Gonzalez, Winky Wright, Joe Casamayor, Bobby Chacon, Terry Norris, Haley and Wayne McCullough,
right,
and Hasim Rockman. Just remember the few that were there last night, those are the inductees, but we also had many other champions in the audience. It was really a nice event.
Yeah, you guys do a fantastic job with that too. And remember to get by here to the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame Museum as well, Boulevard Mall. And everyone's been rolling through here the last few days. It's been a lot of fun being here over the last few days as well too, with all the great champions.
Yeah, exactly. So if you come out to Las Vegas, you must come out to the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame at the Boulevard Mall, right off Maryland Parkway. It's a must-see museum because you see some of the artifacts, memorabilia stuff that some of the fighters have donated to the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. They're open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. During the week, and Fridays and Saturdays from 10 p.m. to midnight. So I think it's really great if you come by the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, support the sport that you love the most.
Absolutely correct. Like I said, great memorabilia, great stuff. You can get in the ring, even take some pictures every once in a while as well too. So it's great. So yeah, great boxing weekend. It happens, of course, every year here in Las Vegas with the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. Now you have the museum to go with it. A good portion thanks to you, my friend. So must see, definitely must see.
I want to say thank you for my co-host. We co-host the show together. And we're both just having a lot of fun with sports, and we're going to continue doing the show for you every Sunday. And I say TC is my undisputed champ. Thank you for being on the show. Keep your guards up at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. And remember, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Touch them up, buddy.
You got it, brother.